The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line, then I have something else for you. It is not even once in a blue moon for Tech to play a Friday game. You are right, Jamie. It might be fun and better than going to Spain. So maybe this guy's going to Spain. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or maybe there's something in there, but
I don't know.
I don't know about that. I'm not overly outraged by it. My preference is for games to be on Saturday. I don't particularly care for the Thursday night game. But I mean, the times that we've had Thursday night games, they've been big events and they've been good. At the end of the day, the times that we've played, I think both our Thursday night games have been against TCU, but I may be wrong about that. But the last time we had a Thursday night game against TCU, it was a big game.
It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yep, it was fun.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I think the Thursday and Friday games always bring just a different kind of atmosphere, and I think everybody gets excited about it.
Yeah, a little bit of a vibe, kind of the Saturday night vibe. And I don't think you can use the Friday is for high school games when I look at empty stands after empty stands after empty stands when I see the highlights of high school games. I mean, it's parents, it's grandparents, it's friends of players and cheerleaders and band, stuff like that. So don't clutch your pearls too heavy there on that. All right.
But I'm sure that there are legitimately people that go to both, and so, oh man, you're gonna miss one.
Yeah. Now, if
you're one of those people that I have a string of not missing a Tech home game for 35 years, whatever, that would stink. Yeah. So you got a decision to make. No doubt. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, and
the decision for me would be easy. Go watch your kid.
Yeah, and I'm not going to, and if you look at the high school football attendance in maybe Amarillo and Midland and some of those in the Dallas area, yeah, it's pretty heavy, especially when you're building these 12 to 15,000 seat stadiums in the Metroplex, and there's more of that on the way. So I get it. I don't
think attendance here in Lubbock is any worse than across the state.
Oh, I do.
You do? I mean, I'm sure some of those schools, like the massive ones or whatever, where it's a big deal. Yeah, but I mean,
I think
I think our teams are supported.
I think they're supported. I just don't think they're supported as heavily, especially the LASD schools, just because they haven't been winning, and I think the Friendship and Lubbock Cooper schools have been more heavily attended because they've been winning. Okay. And it's just like anything else. I mean, you want to see winners. And I think in the smaller communities and the communities that don't have a major university in them, the town revolves around high school football. And so, Midland and Odessa and Amarillo, I think, are more prevalent for that than what we have here. That's just my take. I think for big games,
I've been to plenty of sporting events in Midland and Odessa, and there's nobody there.
Okay, so. All right. Let's see. What about high school kids who are playing and want to watch Tech play? Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's
a small population.
I think that's small. Yeah, that's a better way of saying that.
I'm sure there are a few of them that would be disappointed.
2013 Thursday night game versus TCU. Okay, yeah. And then there was one here more recently than that. Is it just me, or does Cody Campbell think he can do whatever he wants? Hey, he put out his opinion there like everybody else. This person goes on to say the Big 12 asked us to play on Friday for the conference exposure. Do you know that? Everyone complains about Friday game, but always seem to watch college games on Friday. So it goes on to say maybe Cody should pipe down. He doesn't speak for all of us. He's just speaking for himself. He's put out his opinion. Got it. I mean, it's okay. Here's the thing that sometimes is really wrong with our society, okay, is you can have an opinion, all right, And you can have a popular opinion and you can have an unpopular opinion. But just because you have an unpopular opinion or opinion that maybe is more right than wrong, you shouldn't be shouted down for it just because you have an opinion. Okay?
This your first day on the internet, Chuck?
No, it's not. It's not. It just seems like the minority wants to have their opinion, but the majority can't have their opinion. Fill in the blank of subject, whether it's sports or not. Both sides should be able to have their opinion.
This is your first day on the internet. Okay, just checking.
I mean, you should be able to have your opinion without being, just lambasted with tomatoes. But that's maybe not the case anymore, Jamie.
This seems like a kind of like a personal story we got going on right now.
No, there's no personal. No, I have no personal story.
This sounds like
I have no personal story.
There's some hidden scars.
No, there's no hidden scars on this one. Big Huey says, I'd much rather wait around all day for a Friday night game when I'm normally at work than a Saturday night game. If it's Saturday, give me 11 or 2:30 every time. He shares your opinion on that.
Yep.
And mine is I'd rather have the night game. I like the night game. So yeah, like I said, we should all be able to have an opinion without being labeled as being stupid. But that doesn't seem to be the case in our society anymore. 6:38 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Your thoughts, your comments. Yates Flooring Center chat line. Would it just really get you in a wad if we had a game on a Friday night? I thought the Friday game, and who knows, it may still be. I mean, they haven't announced any times for the conference games yet. Just for the non-conference games, I believe.
You're talking football?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, all the time that happens.
Right, yeah.
You won't get kickoff times until like the week before.
We don't have times for Abilene Christian, Oregon State, or Sam Houston yet.
No, I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on some times on that.
I'm looking at the Tech website right now, and they're not on there yet. So they'll usually come together, all three of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is you have your first Big 12 game against Houston before you finish up your non-conference the next week against Sam Houston. So, and did you probably know this? They don't call themselves Sam Houston State anymore. It's just Sam Houston. So
show me on the map where there is a Sam Houston State.
Now you're making too much sense.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Last day of the month. Last Tuesday of the month. Okay.
Last 31st of the month.
That's right. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
All right, gentlemen, starting relatively recently for what we normally do here, 1973, American tennis star Billie Jean King ends Australian Margaret Court's 57-match winning streak, 6-7, 7-6, 6-3 in the semifinals of the WTA event in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
That's an impressive thing to do, is snap somebody's 57-match win streak.
No question. And she was, before Billie Jean King was Billie Jean King, before Martina was Billie Jean King, and before, Margaret Court was all it in a bag of chips. I mean, she was the dominator of the tennis courts. There's no question about it.
1975, the 37th NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, UCLA beats Kentucky 92-85. It's the 10th title under head coach John Wooden, who had announced his retirement 2 days earlier.
Wooden, not Wooden.
I say Wooden?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought it was his last.
Somebody smack me, please. 1982. NBA and Players Association reach a 4-year agreement that includes a 53% revenue sharing plan in return for minimum and maximum payrolls. It's the first of its kind in team sports. So it's the cap and the floor.
Okay.
1994, big day for Jamie Lent.
Okay.
Chicago White Sox assigned former NBA superstar Michael Jordan to the Birmingham Barons in Class AA Southern League. He would return to the NBA 1 season later.
Didn't go well.
It
No.
did not go well, no.
But for a guy who hadn't played baseball in forever, being a minor leaguer at the AA level isn't something to sneeze at. It didn't go well.
True, but did he like really earn his way to AA?
Yeah, I was going to say...
Or was he just gifted AA?
Yeah.
He hit better at AA than I would have.
Sold a lot of tickets. Man, I would have loved to have seen Michael Jordan one of his minor league baseball games.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been cool to say that you got to do that.
You got one of his jerseys, right?
I had one. I sold it.
Ah,
Yeah.
I am now disappointed in you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in Midland that can relate to that over the years who go into AA baseball games down there, seeing the various guys like Fernando Valenzuela and people like that came through.
Yes. Not quite as big as Michael Jordan.
No,
yes.
that's true. No, you're right.
And in 2002, Nick Blankenship's 3-run homer helps Texas Tech earn 7 runs in the 8th inning of a 13-6 rout of visiting Missouri.
Way to go, Nick.
It is National Clams on the Half Shell Day, Oranges and Lemons Day, and Tater Day.
Tater, like just potatoes?
Exactly.
Okay.
I had a friend back in Tyler whose daughter was dating a guy named Tater, and I couldn't stop laughing every time she would mention him.
It was like his nickname, or that was his real name?
I assume it was a nickname.
Did they call him Tater Salad?
I just
Tater
called him
salad.
Tater.
Was his son Tater Tot?
I don't know, but every time.
Shout out to Ron White.
She was, like a 60-year-old woman, and she would talk about her son her daughter, and and Tater's coming over and I'm like, Tater. That's just cracked me up every time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday going out to Ian McGregor, who's 55. William Daniels is 99. Christopher Walken, 83. Angus Young, 71. And Shirley Jones is alive and kicking at 92.
Wow. Partridge Family.
Gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
After this, there's no going back. You take the blue pill, and the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
Isn't this a line from The Matrix?
This is absolutely a line from The Matrix.
I've never seen the movie, Chuck.
Good job.
From
Jamie.
1999 on this day in history.
Yeah, I actually have never seen the movie.
Okay.
Do you have a desire to see the movie?
It's not eating at me that I haven't seen it, but I'm not avoiding it. I know a lot of people like it, so I assume it's good.
How did you know this line?
It's a very famous line
people
from the
quote it so many times.
Okay.
Blue pill, red pill. That's all I know.
Okay.
I couldn't have known anything else, but when they started going about if you take the blue pill, if you take the red pill, I know it's Matrix.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a movie that very much, when it came out, made you absolutely think about a lot of different things on how we make decisions. You can sit back and just enjoy it as a movie, but if you want to actually dive into what they're saying in the movie, it can really have you go, huh, that's something I hadn't thought about before. I enjoyed the first one. The second and third one have their problems.
Their problems.
They have their problems.
They have their problems.
Okay, problems. Okay.
And that's this day in sports history.
All right, 6:51 this day in sports history. I had some questions yesterday about was I still friends with Bullfighter. He sent me, and you ignored all of them. I did ignore them. I just ignored it.
Talk to the hand to all of them.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel it. And then yesterday I was in the office and I saw somebody dropping off flowers and I thought, oh, one of the gals here in the building got some flowers from husband or significant other. And then I go back to my office and I see these nice bouquet of flowers on my desk. And then I see this from this note. Hey, Chuck, you bring so much happiness to the morning drive. Your energy and humor brighten people's days and make every commute better. You're truly appreciated. Chat GPT and your friendly friend, Bullfighter. My friendly friend, Bullfighter. Thank you, Bullfighter. Thank you for the...
Are you guys friends again now?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I mean, I asked him to, every once in a while, it'd be nice if you could just throw me some flowers. And so he did. He threw me some flowers. So thank you, Bullfighter. That was very kind of you. It was nice.
Gosh, what a guy.
Yeah, the Bullfighter.
What a guy.
Who knew? Yeah.
I think we had a good idea. He was a good guy. Well, at least I did. I kind of felt like you didn't, but that's
well. I mean, I just kind of, sometimes you get drawn off sides, and every once in a while I get drawn off sides, and that it was the end of the week, and I just said my brain was full, and I'd had enough, and so I just, and sometimes, see, the difference I think sometimes between me and you is when I explode, everybody knows. You're an internal combustion.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, that's probably better. It's those of us that have this tendency to explode every once in a while. It's never pretty, but at least it's over with. So I don't know what it's like for it to churn just inside me, because eventually it just kind of explodes, and it's not pretty and it's ugly, but it's over. Okay.
But I haven't exploded.
I know you haven't. So you've figured out a way to compartmentalize it or put it away in your own little spot, which is good. It's very big of you. I mean, I'm I could be better, but my explosions have gotten lesser and lesser as I'm like a volcano. They've gotten lesser and lesser as I've gotten older. Longer in between explosions. 6:55 this morning here on the Morning Drive. We'll visit with softball coach Gerry Glasco this morning at 7:15.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. By Service Compression. Committed to service, advanced technology, and field-proven compression expertise in the oil field. See them at servicecompression.com. Now our conversation with softball coach Gerry Glasco.
Hey, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Drive. We're in the midst of hour 2 of 3 today on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We're going to get the head softball coach of Texas Tech University, Gerry Glasco, on the Visual Edge IT hotline, as his ball club today is on the road to take on Abilene Christian. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, I wanted to start with what took place last week at your place with the renaming of the softball field to Tracy Sellers Field, and what the Sellers family and what she in particular has meant to you and your program.
Yeah, just unbelievable weekend. A lot of fun. The naming of the field was, I think, just a tremendous tribute to what Tracy and the Sellers family, but Tracy in particular, done for our program. She's just determined to see us become a successful softball program, a winning program, and establish herself as a softball powerhouse. And she made that clear during the interviews. And she made that clear after I took the job that, anything we needed, her family was there to support us and to help us. And as you can see around the field, they've just done a tremendous job of providing us with everything we need to develop players, the cages, the hitting facility, the field. Everything is top notch out there. And then this year they took it a step further and put the shade in for the fans and new netting to keep the fans safe. Just a lot of things the lighting was improved, the sound system was improved. So the Sellers family has just been invaluable to our program, and just a really great example of what the impact that alumni and successful alumni can do to come back and help their school.
Coach, since you guys lost that Friday night game to Arizona, you're 9-0. I think you've won 6 of those games, but in run rule fashion. Do you sense that your team maybe is a little bit more focused, and has there been an extra sense of intensity since that loss to Arizona?
I think it was just a reality wake-up call, like you have to show up every day. And you can tell kids that, you can talk about it, you can warn them, but nothing teaches you about a sport like the game itself. That's in any sport, but it was a wake-up call, and the game taught our kids that night. We got embarrassed 9-0 at home. First conference game of the year on our field, and we got spanked 9-0. And I think that experience and that moment really helped our team. I knew it would at the time. I didn't like it, didn't want it, but there was no reason for us to get beat by anybody on our field, let alone 9-0. And since then, I think we come out the first inning, every game this weekend, we come out and scored, and they're taking care of business. And they're enormously talented, but they also have to be mentally focused and mentally sharp. And yeah, that game was a wake-up call.
Today you take on Abilene Christian. You're in Abilene for that game. It's a 5:00 start time for you. Will this give you an opportunity to play some folks that maybe haven't had an opportunity to play as much? I mean, you beat them 24-0 the last time. Is that part of the strategy for today?
No. We're going to go out and we've pretty well got our team now. I think we've got our team. We've kind of figured out the rotation. We've figured out what we think makes us really good, and it's a midweek. But I've got players that are competing to be All-Americans, and they need the numbers. They need the at bats. They need the rhythm. Once we get locked in, we're not out just to play or take turns. We're out to win. And I think that's very important that, if you want to play on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or you want to play on Tuesday night, you compete hard in practice and you establish yourself. And we competed really hard all fall. We competed really hard in January and February. And then once we get our lineup and our rotation set by the kids that earned it, and it takes a lot to make me change that. So I don't want to keep, I don't want to give people, everybody's ready. You get a chance to practice every day. They don't need to play tonight to be able to play, next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We practice every day. And so everything that we do is based on what you earn in practice on a daily basis. And it's not little league. It's not about taking turns. It's about going out and competing. And when you earn that right to play on game day, it's your right. You've earned it. And I took that from my first experience at Georgia, University of Georgia. The first fall game, we were winning like 28-1. And we were playing 14-inning game in the fall. And it was a 12th inning. It was 28-1. And I said, Lou, we got 2 innings left. You want to make some substitutions? She said, what? I said, you want to make some substitutions? We're 28-1. It's 12th inning. We only got 2 more innings. She goes, Jerry, this is a little league ball in Johnson City, Illinois. This is the SEC. You want to play on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You play on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in practice. And you let me worry about the substitution from now on. So I've always kind of kept that hardcore. I think it makes your team realize how important practice is and how important earning your position. And once you earn it, you better hold on to it.
Well, Coach, good luck today against Abilene Christian, and I'll leave the lineup to you. How about that?
Well, I think it's important fans realize, there's a system to what we're doing, and I think it's a great question because it's not every coach isn't that way, but that's how our team is, and that's how my belief is. Practice has to be a competition on a daily basis, and once you earn something, then it's yours. And then if you fail to earn in practice, then it's a long. You better take it serious next fall. And so that's just kind of the system we have. And I mean, it's the only way, but it definitely works.
That's Gerry Glasco, his team in action tonight at 5 o'clock in Abilene Christian. So if you're in Abilene or heading that way, go check out some Red Raider softball. And then this weekend they play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday against BYU. It is 7:23 this morning on the morning drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3. And a reminder, we'll have the games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on 92.3 The Hub. And our coverage begins a half hour before first pitch. So Thursday it'll be at 5:30 for a 6 o'clock first pitch. And then Friday evening, it is going to be the same thing, 5:30 and 6, so a night game for that game on Friday. And then Saturday afternoon, it's an 11:30 start time and a 12 noon first pitch against BYU.
You have asked me a similar question about baseball before we had week games.
I have.
And gotten not the same answer, but the same concept of it. I think it's interesting that you've asked that about softball and baseball. Yet in any of the non-conference games, do the Lady Raiders go, you know what? It's a non-conference game. Let's start our 10th girl today. Let's give Bailey let's have Bailey come off the bench and play 6 minutes today.
There have been some times when it's been a little bit more challenging with the non-conference games because we've just not been quite up to snuff.
Coach McGuire, let's let the defensive line rest here for this non-conference game. Let's play all our walk-ons up front. But for some reason, Chuck expects him to do it in
I just thought maybe
softball.
when you beat somebody like a drum 24-0 and you're playing 56 games that, you may want to give a guy a night off.
You think Coach McCaslin's team was beating teams by like a drum in the non-conference at home?
But they don't play 56, though, or 52 or whatever.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
I enjoy follow the money more than rule number one stuff. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Okay.
So maybe it won't be that bad for me.
Okay.
All right. Maybe I'll just love it. I'll be all in.
Oh. Okay, we'll see.
Choose joy, Chuck.
Choose joy.
You're right. All right, so I have a question for you today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's another fill in the blank question for you.
Okay.
Okay. The most important thing for the Red Raider basketball team this offseason is... I'm taking away one answer.
Christian Anderson?
Retain Grant McCaslin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw a deal yesterday. I think because you can bet on anything. The odds of him going to North Carolina were like 3%, but
it's about where I would put it. Probably.
Yeah. The most important thing for Texas Tech in the upcoming season is, if I had my druthers, it'd be go find yourself a guy that's 7 foot, that's got some meat on the bones, that can be a force inside and be a rim protector, and a guy that can score in the paint or can get putbacks and push it back out to Christian Anderson to hit three. So I'm going to say a real big fella inside. A force.
A real big fella.
Yeah. Like he's got some meat on the bones, not, 7'2" and, weighs 160 pounds.
So skinny you could hang glide from a Dorito?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Jeff's not buying what I'm selling.
No, I'm not buying what you're selling.
I liked how you assumed Christian Anderson was still going to be here.
Well, yes,
yeah, like he's going to kick it out to Christian Anderson. Well, where is he kicking it?
I don't.
Is he kicking it to the NBA? Is he kicking it to North Carolina? I mean, where is this pass headed?
I don't know.
I think he'll be back.
Which is more important, which is probably why Jamie asked this question. Is it more important to find a replacement for Christian Anderson? Or is it more important to find a replacement for JT Toppin that can play along with JT Toppin when he finally gets healthy? I don't anticipate JT being back at the start of the year.
Oh, my gosh, no. I mean, I think if you...
I don't anticipate him being back at the start of Big 12 play.
I would, yeah.
I am going to be playing basketball games before Big 12 play happens. I would, as a Tech fan.
I was going to say, you are going to be? I'm confused.
No. I am going to say, of those two, finding a replacement for JT Toppin that can play along with JT once he gets healthy is the most important thing. I need a leader on the court. I need a scorer on the court. I need everything that we were missing at the end of the year with JT out. And then when JT gets back, they have to be able to play together.
Okay. This one's really hard for me because I feel like there's a lot of good answers that you could give. I mean, I didn't hate either one of your answers.
I was going to say, have you heard anything good so far?
Yeah, no,
okay.
I think both of them are good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Christian Anderson will be back.
Okay.
Man, I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think he will.
Okay. You think he's going to the NBA?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. My number one answer would be to say, get Christian Anderson back. Retain Christian Anderson. That would be number one on my list. Mm-hmm. Because I think if you do that, it helps you get other guys that will want to play around him. Okay? It's going to help you in the portal because you have a stud that guy's great point guard. What was he, top 10 in the country in assists? I believe top 5 as a matter of fact. But anyway, somewhere in that area. And so guys are going to want to come play with him. So that's number one on my list. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't think he is back. Okay? So my number one on my list would probably be, I would probably answer something similar to where you guys were and add legitimate interior depth. Because I feel like that's what this team has been lacking the last couple of seasons. Mm-hmm. I mean, JT Toppin is terrific, but you've still longed for a big man to play alongside him. Yeah. That's, been what you need and allowed JT to not be the 5. He's having to play the 5 way too much. And when he's not playing the 5, you're just not getting a lot of production from that other guy. But man, how are you not saying? I mean, if Christian Anderson's not around, how is your answer not something like adding a legitimate, point guard or a legitimate playmaking guard that guys are going to want to play with? Because you got to do that. So I think that all that to say is that there's a lot of answers here. There's a lot. And that's why I said, on yesterday's afternoon show with Choice, we talked about, I feel like this is one of the most intriguing, interesting offseason for Red Raider basketball in a while. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because there's just so many unknowns. I mean, is JT Toppin going to be re-signed and come back? I think the answer to that is yes. Is Christian Anderson coming back? I think the answer to that is yes. I don't really think there's drama with Grant McCaslin. As I've told you, I'm not worried about him leaving. I don't think he's going anywhere. Is Lawan Watts back? Who else do you bring in? I mean, it just there's so many questions for this team, and in the past we've been able to answer them with really good answers for the most part. I don't think the roster construction was as good as you would have wanted it to have been this year. Mm-hmm. Okay, you added some good pieces, but some of them I think were a little bit disappointing. So I think we've been able to answer those questions in the past, so my expectations is you'll answer them again, and we'll be happy with those answers. But that's all makes it very intriguing to me.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Double T 97.3 presents the Morning Drive Power Hour. The Power Hour is presented by Service Compression. Committed to service, advanced technology, and field-proven compression expertise in the oil field. See them at servicecompression.com.
All right, it is time for the Power Hour. Hey, good morning. Hour 3 of 3 with Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that, of the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. So mentioned that the portal for college basketball will open on the men's side April the 6th and then go through the next 15 days. And man, that's your roster could really be shaped a lot at that point in time, Jamie. Because
yes, no question. There's
going to be a lot of money on the table, and for the players that are going to go get it, I mean they've got to go get it at that point in time, and which is really interesting because you have North Carolina that still has its basketball job open, and presumably two of the guys they want to talk to are playing in the Final Four, and oh by the way. They potentially could be in a position where they both say no, and then they're left holding the bag, and then okay, so what if they don't get either one of those guys? Then where do they go? And who knows? They may go to the Bulls coach and say, "Hey, do you want to be our basketball coach?" And people have talked about him ad nauseum, but I don't know. It'd just be real interesting because, like, if you want to be in that spot, you've got to be, have your organization ready to go. And just kind of feels like that if you don't have it ready to go on April the 7th, because you kind of almost wonder how quickly will Christian Anderson make a decision if he's going to put his name in the hat for the draft. You can't necessarily wait around for all the.
And you can still pull back, right?
Yeah, you could still pull back, but I mean, but you've got.
So you would think he's definitely going to do it, just at the very least, to find out, to get information, right?
Sure, and he probably already has all those. He probably has that information. But
maybe he could go through some of those pre-draft camps and stuff like that. That's valuable.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the other thing, though, is that people aren't going to wait around with their money and say, "Oh, well, you want to check out the draft? Oh, okay, well, we'll get back to us, 1st of May." It's just, I don't know that you can afford to do that. I mean,
I would think that, the coaches probably have a good idea one way or the other what it's going to happen, because I think for a player as talented as Christian Anderson, you will wait.
Right, but he's going to be one of the. There's probably a handful of those guys, and he's one of them, no question. But if you're Texas Tech, you're going to want to know, hey, is he going to be with us? Are you with us or not?
Which way are you leaning?
Me?
That would be the conversation I would be having with Christian Anderson.
Sure. And
which way are you leaning?
They probably had those conversations.
If you are leaning toward the NBA, great. Congratulations. Let's help you do that. Are you leaning toward coming back for another year? Great. We can make that happen. Are you looking to enter the transfer portal, which he is allowed to do? Well, let's have a conversation about that and see if we can change your mind, but we understand. That's where that conversation for Grant McCasland and his staff needs to start, and act appropriately from that.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. This makes sense. Okay, this text makes sense. Surely Michigan and Arizona's coaches have people that have taught to North Carolina at this point, right? Yes, I would assume.
Absolutely, I would think so.
Yeah, they know when the portal opens as well. Sure, they'll know they'll be behind. I would imagine if they haven't moved on to other people, it's got to be one of them. Yeah, the question is, who would you rather have? Would you rather have Tommy Lloyd, or would you rather have Dusty May? Or Billy Donovan? I mean, Billy Donovan's pretty far removed from college basketball, but is he in this style of college basketball? Is he what a team needs? A guy that's used to coaching players that make more money than him or as much, and used to kind of managing that type of roster as opposed to, your traditional, well, I'm going to go get some freshmen, I'm going to go get a JUCO kid, I'm going to get this kid. No, it's completely different now. It's completely different now.
But that's why they have GMs.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. And if you're North Carolina and you're going to go, quote, outside the family, then you're going to probably have a complete redo of your basketball organization, which there's a handful of schools that can do that and be behind the eight ball a little bit. North Carolina certainly is one of them because they're a blue blood. They've been around forever and a day. So if you were predicting right now, you would say Christian Anderson is not going to be a part of this team next year.
That would be my prediction.
Jeff, is that your prediction too?
Sorry, say again? I was reading the chat line. Your prediction
that Christian Anderson is not going to be a part of this team next year?
Yes. I expect he's going to be in the NBA. Like 98% that he's going to be in the NBA.
Is that your thought too? Or?
That is my thought.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's 98%, but.
With regard to JT Toppin, I mean, there's some thought and one prediction off the chat line from earlier today that he won't play at all next year. And you just don't know when you're trying to recover from these ACLs. I mean, he's just had the surgery here within the last couple of weeks. So, if it's 10 months for him to recover, well, that puts him at, late January at the best, and then at that point in time, okay, you would, I guess, evaluate your season and evaluate him and go, okay, is it worth burning a year?
Yeah, and taking a risk for his future of rushing back too soon and not being ready.
Sure, all those things, right. And then, of course, because if you got him, you would have him, if he doesn't play at all next year, then you'd have him for a couple more years. And potentially, and unless his, unless he changes some things, he'd be better off staying in college than going to the NBA. Unless he develops that three-point shot.
Or maybe going and playing overseas. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know that anybody's going to pay him that amount to go overseas. All right, I have something. My little outrage is going to be next. No, I'm not outraged at it. I'm just I want to see if you guys are like me going, this is not the time for this. All right, and it's a money grab. All right. Also, just a little man helping man. Avoid Marcia Sharp Freeway going east. I know that there was an accident at Q and Marcia Sharp, and apparently it's backing things up. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're traveling to work this morning, especially downtown.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.